Hi guys, this is Sue. Welcome back, and today I'll be doing my 2016 reading resolutions video. This is where I go over the goals I set for 2015 and how well I did on them, or not how well I did on them, and the goals I plan for 2016. So let's hit up the stats from last year. I had set a Goodreads goal of 180 books, and I read 180 books, so I made it by the skin of my teeth with the help of some manga and graphic novels. I read a total of 45,567 pages. The shortest book I read was only 45 pages long. It was an ebook entitled The Wandering Earth. You can see that by this Chinese author I cannot pronounce. And the longest book I read was This Beast, 848 pages long, Dororo by Osamu Tezuka, and it's a manga. Breaking down the genres, I read 67 manga, which was one more than the previous year. Graphic novels, which include adult, YA, and middle grade, I read 31, which was two more than last year. So those were pretty same from year to year. Adult fiction, I read 33. That was actually 11 more, which I was very happy with. Adult nonfiction, I read 3 books compared to the 0 I read in 2014. And YA, I read 19 books. That was 26 less than the year before. It really surprised me when I saw that, because I have so many YA books, so many series that I'm involved in, and the fact that I only read 19 was quite surprising. Middle grade, I read 16, which is only one more than the previous year. Classics, I read a total of 3 books, which was one less. I wasn't too happy with that. And ebooks, I read 8 compared to the 2 the year before, so that's actually an increase of 6 ebooks. Now, some of the other goals I had set for 2015 was to read more classics, so obviously I failed there. I read one less. And ebooks, I had hoped to read at least 5 of the ebooks I have on my various ebook devices. I have a Nook and a Kindle. Tons of books just sitting on there as part of a, my electronic TBR that I wanted to produce. And my goal was to read at least 5. I read 8, so I was very happy with that. In terms of the overall reducing of a TBR, I'd hope to do that through completing series, and I'd hope to complete at least 10 books, and actually 10 series, and I actually completed 19, so just flip over those really quick here. I get my notes, because I got notes everywhere. I finished the Castor Chronicles by Kim Garcia and Margaret Stohl. That was a total of 4 books in that series. Not that I read all of these in the same year, but I did complete this series, the Deadland Saga, which is a trilogy by Rachel Ochs. I completed that series. I have books all over the place here. A manga series, The Drifting Classroom. I actually read this entire series of 11 books during the year. Gyo by Junji Ito. This is a manga. It's a 2-volume in one. Completed that one. And this Dororo one, which is actually 3 books in one. Completed that. This one I'm not too sure of. The Girl from the Well by Rin Chupeco. I think it's just a duology. The way the second book ended, it seemed like a conclusion. So I'm counting that for now, but I may be wrong on that one. If anybody knows, let me know down below. Judge by Yoshiki Tanagi. This is a manga series. It had a total of 6 books. Then I'll have to show you these electronically, because I had gotten these from the library and I don't have actually physical copies. Yeah, there we go. No Longer Human. This was a manga trilogy, and that's by Usamaru Furuya. Then I also read Until the End of the World by Sarah Lyons Fleming. This consisted of 3 novels and 1 novella. Actually completed that entire series, I believe it was, within the year. I finished the last couple of volumes of Vampire Knight, which has a total of 19 volumes in the entire series. I read the duology Mary the Summoning by Hilary Monahan. Love this one. Freaked me out. Another manga by Osamu Tezuka is Mu, or MW. It's this one has 3 books in one, so it's another kind of omnibus. Then I completed the Newsflesh trilogy by Myra Grant. There's 3 books. Obviously, it's a trilogy. Sheltered by Ed Bryson. This is a 3-book graphic novel. Didn't care for that one too much. Solanin. This is by Inio Asano. This is 2 volumes combined. Also in audio format. Oh, I also forgot this one. not in audio format. I own these books, but I no longer own them because I didn't enjoy the series. This is The Ashes trilogy by Ilsa J. Bick. The first book I loved, which is this one here, but the second one kind of confused me, and the third one, which was Monsters, literally a monster of a book, was awful. I couldn't wait to finish it. But from the library, I had downloaded the audio series, The Books of Elsewhere by Jacqueline West, which I just mentioned in my November wrap-up. Absolutely loved this series. It was 5 books, so I listened to them all straight through. Then I finally completed the Hollow series by Kim Harrison, one of my all-time favorites. There was 13 books in the series, and I finished the last one. This is actually the first book in the series, Dead Witch Walking. It's kind of an urban fantasy, adult urban fantasy. Highly recommend it. And then I also finished off the graphic novel, Y the Last Man. This is by Brian K. Vaughan. There were 10 books in total in the series. So, 19 completed series. Definitely happy with that. One of my other goals was to actually start some new series, as crazy as that sounds. One of those was the Newsflesh trilogy, Myra Grant, and I did read that entire series and finish that off. Another one was to at least make a start on the Skullduggery Pleasant series by Derek Landy. Completely failed on that one, didn't even start it. Hoping to this year. Another one was to read a couple specific titles that I had mentioned. One of them was to read either one of these two. House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski or S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. Both of these have kind of complicated formats. Very kind of strange books. This one's a little bit more on the scary horror side. I ended up going with S, and I literally got that far. So I read all of this, a little bit beyond the halfway mark, but did not finish it. It's a pretty complicated tale. It's like you're reading 3 stories in one, and I just got a little bored with it and a little bit confused with all the various characters. I hope to kind of pick it up again and try and finish it off, but yeah, I'm not sure when that will be, and kind of no rush. The other one was to read The Gargoyle, and I did manage that. It's by Andrew Davidson. I really love this one. I believe I did a review on it. If I can find it, I'll put a link down below. Another one was to read The Book Thief. I did not read the book because I ended up seeing the movie, and then it just didn't feel like I had enough time before the end of the year, or I had other, books planned that I wanted to read, and it was too soon after seeing the movie, so I wanted a bit of a time gap. So hopefully I'll be picking up sometime soon. And the other one, which I hate to mention, was The Plague by Albert Camus. Completely failed to pick this one up once again. So anyway, moving on. What are my goals? What are my goals for next year? What are my goals? Where did I put them? Yeah, I don't have a lot set. Let's put it that way. I want to keep it kind of light compared to last year. I'm setting a Goodreads goal of only 150 this year. I don't consciously watch the number. I don't think, I need to read this many books in a month. I just literally read because I'm enjoying reading. I pick up several books. I've usually got a couple books going, maybe a manga, an audiobook. I do that because I enjoy it, not because I feel pressured, but maybe subconsciously I am. I don't know. But I don't sit there calculating I need to read this many per month. It's not something I really think about. So I just kind of want to just reduce the number just to make sure I am not putting any pressure on myself, and also because some of the books I want to read, although I do still want to read a lot of manga and graphic novels, I want to read a little bit more actual novels, fiction, possibly adult fiction more, again, like I did this past year. I really enjoyed that. So I actually have a TBR for 2016. Just going to go over it really quickly. I want to read I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. These are books that I will choose from. I don't intend to read all of these, but I have like a TBR that I want to at least choose a bunch from this pile. I want to read The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. Bennett Aronovich's Rivers of London is high on my list. Carlos Ruiz Zafon's The Prisoner of Heaven, because I enjoyed Shadow of the Wind so much. Such a great book. I've had this book sitting on my shelf for a bit now. John Knowles, A Separate Peace. Kind of a school read I never had to read. I really enjoyed The End of Mr. Y, which I read this year, by Scarlett Thomas, and I have 2 other books by her. I have the End of, sorry, that's the best, Our Tragic Universe. This one's a really weird shaped one, it's like tall. And also Popco. So I'd like to at least pick one of those to read during the year. Also a couple beasts of books. I want to kind of delve into some meaty books here. James Herbert's Ash. Yes, it's huge. This is the author of The Secret of Crickley Hall, which I saw as a BBC kind of, I think it was a mini-series, kind of a horror horror writer. And this one, which will be a tricky one for me, is Battle Royale, and that's by Koushun Takami. Figure I'll have a lot of problems with the names and keeping all the characters straight, but I've been wanting to read that one as well. So these are like the general fiction type books that I hope to choose from during the year, at least several of them. I also have a selection of classics that I want to choose from. Again, we're going to put it in the list, keep our fingers crossed. I have several in the Penguin English Library edition series, which I really like. This is the Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. Both of them are very thin. Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. That would be fun. The Hound of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle. I did read this quite some time ago as part of a collection, but I'll include that one as well. The Murders in the Rue Morgue and Other Tales by Edgar Allan Poe. And a little bit more of a beefy classic would be The Women in White by Wilkie Collins. It's quite a chunky one. And then some other classics I would like to read, more in this dystopian kind of world. That would be Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And 1984 by George Orwell. And just two more, again, from this pile that I hope to choose. Maybe at least 5 from each of these would be nice. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. This is quite a lovely little Barnes & Noble Classic edition for children. So yeah, that's my goals. Like I said, 150 books. Oh, also I want to read some more ebooks. I want to keep going with that, keep reducing that pile. So I'm going to set another goal of 5 ebooks and see if I can reach that. So 150 ebooks, 5 ebooks, and then 5 from each of this TBR of novels and classics. So wish me luck. Let me know down below what you guys, if you have some goals set for the year, or if you've done a video, I will go check it out. And I'll see you in the coming year. Thanks for watching.